wɔn kura mu kotodwem ɛnfomsoɔ no wɔn ayɛnti momfa nkyɛ wɔn.
Sujano, my men fa kwenya so na men pagana for chow. Ebi no mahwe omunuanom, ebi mahwe omo adofo.
Oh my God, I'm not sure, but the few and watchers are nurse for ya, one more tear. Ya, boy, my basso, Dania, watch him say strike and then Yamiadum. Wedding now, Cornelia, Yamiadmo, Chinada, Wamuko, Wamunuma, assume. Dom Kuma Ban, Danny, one my God, I'm not sure, but the film. Alexander Kwame Penyo Markin was so what Tunsa. Eddie Afra was so for ya, watch it down, what there was some so my Ganamo. One may PM or Parliament after one church and Winchromo. Yentia ECJ, you may call Cassia Brano, Wamu Bocach, as a Canadian. Would you know what went to see him? And then you may send Pika when you see Kunya, ya de as some more. Young fast, the man you may call.
Aseda and confirm Oson's chemist. Oson's chemist and the Oson's Gallic capsule, Sabaja, so Gallic and Fasos and Irinea. Now, no Oson's chemist for Dani and Niwa and the capsules come. When you have been nominated to the more Gallic soon for Swing, I know, also sa a bit to me, Akabi MTN, or see we there for you everywhere you go. High sense, about electrical appliance of our party, my Ghana, Monoma Hifi, and one any high sense Ghana. Doffer roofing system, so be a amount chance if I bought down so be the Pomo Jessica, Eddie, a man paying for. Budget Cash and Carry Limited, Eddie Blue Gens Energy Drink. I be Pimo Ghana, just by your finisher, Dunia Chini, and a Blue Gens Energy Drink, as some Ghana, some Poya Juma, and Wadiana, or Pesosha Mukina, Blue Gens Energy Drink, and American for Eddie Amo Raus pharmaceuticals, at the High Lady Virgin Mesha, Abajas, where your medru, or your bio, or your hodro, so dia. High Lady Virgin Mesha Raus for the Bajasano, and American for Eddie Amo, so bet to make a suma semua, a disonia brush your do ya papa, now would you choose? Obey to much choosing so someone akoye damawa and noa any Pepsodent. And your spices be any dear Granny. Spices will 1 year Grania, where you're running 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and Edwana Sasinia. Then you answer spices in your papa. I will find a Grani would dear and a boss of Fono. I'm a Munam for Moya for Wire. Spices in your papa. Choba for Canadian see somebody see for the customers a chum. Or spices out here, Grano, say a kama, Granny by your debut freedom, a who here. So basically, sign post to a quaho or Henry spices and American for Yama war. Tapoli spicy beef and chicken jerky. And so it would just and can open quarry. Open into Maria and your choba. You say my anka and Ampuko store and next store near Bay woman, but Biokoto milk, but Biokoto sugar, but Biokoto toothpaste and Okwa also open in Chinamato. Okwa also Paco Namato. Now I know what him set a police spicy beef and not a police spicy chicken jerky be and now pay on Sakabia come beer will be no just say ultimate ball drinker so not to say also on our corner. When you make what do I saw as an second boy and you know yes in Kunya yanking kind and far and some more. I can count for a me. Sadat Mohammed Mene. Oh, you know what Casebohine, Africa Sebone Muche Mankasa any Ghana man penny excellency John Dramani Mahamane Caseman Penny Boachra say, is he an abandoned Gusha Wayan? She says, send a bay and crew travel draw. Besse a dionumia what da bon dear, Bana Hunidie, and in sure one somewhere bet me a sorry nafe, Ejinat and Nasom, Ghana man penny excellency John Dramani Mahamam. What the son some way out to Jabeto Jassa Wahin Cassian, Elwood Dagbon and Anum Atsan Kunya, Yana Bukari Tosumi and Bessan Bankasimu. Now Mampenia Casaya watch him say, ha, Jenny said, Brano to one more. Now a man for Dagbon Sassis Womu Chaja Jordanian, a banning Sion some party a Sebia Bushia, a tete apra pansamaise contebim, and Untiendisi a barbetina who say, EU penny for Edisica Butni Bidia toward my water supply system, Yakos Woyendi, and now for expansion project a water malin wabashe, so a bet to me a yen in 10 times no man for them, 80 enya a so emphasom. Mampenia to so actually say, yes, be a dagbon, ye can want some dagbon penemum, 1 year word dam and go now for soon crow would be a bending in arm, one bet to me enya some for sona bois, now when he did not for so and she wants somewhere, one more tersunum, and so etimi abrasim. Ghana Mount Peres Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and some what dear to Janebidi.
To this end, the Community Infrastructure Development Fund, launched in 2025, will finance water and sanitation projects in 50 underserved communities in Dagbon. These include Patinga, Lungni, Nakwanduri, while small town water systems are planned for Willensi and Bimbila. The Yendi water supply system will also be executed. We have been offered funds by the European Union to execute the Yendi water supply system and also the Tamale water expansion project. And then also under that project, it also includes Damango the Savannah region is going to benefit from increased water supply, so that the Gonjas will stop saying Chumunta. Your Majesty, Chumunta means there's no water. Damango is water starved, so once we get them water, they will stop saying Chumunta.
And here you quote a Ghana man Peres Excellency John Dramani Mahaman Watoso ya watch us why in a Cassia or Dagbon assassin so Yana Bukari ya Tosumian war Bona Bassus were better Kunya Cassius Washem and some GPS Yachinity were Dagbon.
Beyond infrastructure, we're also restoring the dignity and capacity of the traditional chieftaincy institution. The Traditional Leadership Support Fund created under the 2025 budget will finance the preservation of royal archives, rehabilitation of palaces, and logistical support for traditional areas, including the Dagbon Traditional Council. We recognize that tradition is complementary to development. Tradition is foundational. This government will not sideline traditional rulers. We'll partner with you. Will listen to your wise counsel, will honor your place in the national architecture of governance. Your Majesty, let me also acknowledge your wise leadership in promoting peace beyond the boundaries of Dagbon. Your quiet interventions in disputes across Mamprosi, Gonja, and the Eastern Corridor have helped reduce tensions and avoid escalation, and Ghana is grateful to you. I remember your visit to your brother, the Yegbonra. It was a fraternal visit. I believe it drew our two people, the Gonjas and the Dagombas, together.
And here you quote a Ghana man Peres Excellency John Dramani Mahaman Anusi Yano, where Penny or Kasa ye de Madabon him, and Dr. Jacob Yakubu Mahaman, and your dear to Johnny say, ye, send this ya bambet now so pan was sure Juma Denya Yura Mama warrior. Not what June Hot him say a bro a Junin in Tias so was this ya receipt say now one day baba. Ya wa my Ghana sika some to ya fapem, Jina now so pentiman penny was what Boa Baswaya dear Bemana Yanya Wudeni.
Your dedication to the welfare of Ghanaians is evident in the policies and initiatives that have been rolled out, and I have no doubt that your leadership will bring about transformative change that will benefit our nation for generations to come. The drastic drop in the dollar exchange rate from 17 cedis to 11 cedis in less than 6 months is a remarkable achievement that speaks volumes about your administrative commitment to prudent economic management. This significant reduction is not merely a numbers game. It reflects a deliberate effort to stabilize the economy, boost confidence in the city, and create a favorable environment for investment and growth. It demonstrates your government's ability to think critically and act decisively in the best interests of Ghanaians. Your government's achievements within a short span are truly commendable, and several initiatives stand out as particularly noteworthy.
And here you quote ye Kasama for the ma Yana Bukari ya Tosumienu, Dr. Jacob Yakubu Mahama, Sansem way, Salamat Kukwa Pentel, and a Buabuano.
Abasisa baya and this among you fro Ghana Beja Kesiano, and whatever you could be there were 2 and the operation recover all loot 20 from Ora. Na botayana eta ora koyachini say when I was when kani abanu mutitiriwa Ghana japade wa from the sebrato Ghana sika odu on sabombo no abomu abane de safo nyina abeji na mra no wana ese fatase agi sika no firi won chene behwe ne age wana japade akodi won chene ese fatase agi na no se behwe ne age na emom won so a ese fatase do moji na mra no mpinifo behwe na yedi wona agi na mra no na emra no omodi sene yese na efata na bra ora timi wo mufre muju medi ase ndi chebi ene enya ne ntie se penyine kwanchefo be di chira no wada National Service Authority no ora yiri gift o ware mensa ne DPM monte so na etire mu se sika pa fama mensa no enye sika ketwa enam so ama National Intelligence Bureau for echema mensa abre no kra ne DPM monte so no na woni Ghana na so bere obepiem o Ghana mu no ena Ghana fo nyanya ne ntie se NI before ache no yenkombra ma me yemani bill match busumi muton ebesi nra na enya dia ora yiri gift o ware mensa enya ne ho popoye bia na se ne nsem no na yate ho asem tina Ghana fo acha bisa se oh Ghana na kamia kwa asemba yeso no soro ni ejaba fombo kwa asa apochentokwa e kamenso akwa esi nso esi jasu huru ebewie kire na ajo ma me ho nsom sori yese na Ghana fo so mututu ne srane abasa na afei match busumi ton besi June mu yente ho hwi na ene and abamra nim for penny Dr. Dominic Akuritinga Ayini or friend central for Shemuna sen or the Togana for and say yen to your book. Now about Chile Joyan was yes no. Mammy give to our remains and once I may buy no and some wasa a mood papa so tre by wa. And Tina Shemuma Paguswa Ecoswo. Now a friend of Shemuna Kusia Sefa ne, but Ben Shemuna Kwakodu no mammy the Nijana Marano Bonu Kodua, it to me a year. Now we're Dr. Dominic Ayini. Nakasemina watch them say. Enhwemu says Kabotine 548 million Ghana cedis. And a mammy, we give to our mensa aquacodinism. Now, no more yen say National Service for say di apemwa. Nampin for so tietri. A dimbe ahanu samadin na or the quaco frapimum. It will so so National Service for a bunch of Sicada more. And some idea almost like a Chebia show money no machiri, not as Omuyidi. And to my year, dear Manoki Kabumo, and then 548 million Ghana cedis. And Nesikawa, na Enyama Menkwa, a Frobin somewhere Baku, a Dubako, Mamaka who doom you know, and at the same pin for whom say, Sessica Diano, now or Mafumu, Moya Beshano, Makojina Embrano. Now, Ura Dominica Unity, Musa Kodwa, who ever boom, and say, the Dikai or Mabokrono. Netosum you know, or Madisika Wajuma. And nam kwapaso ne etoso miensa o mabo my Ghana ka enu ntini Ghana fo nhwe animu sempeni fo edum yenu yi edomu kopiem o quarter kodu ede bebo mu enie Dr. Dominic Akuritinga Ayini.
It was discovered that around 81,885 were ghost names. Our investigations have revealed a sprawling criminal enterprise whose network covers the entire country. This criminal enterprise was run by top executives of the National Service Authority and their accomplices in the private sector known as vendors or service providers. This criminal enterprise resulted in the siphoning of huge sums of public funds into private pockets. In total, we can confirm from our evidence on the docket and from interrogations that a whopping 548,333,542 cedis and 65 pesos, that's how accurate we have been, has been lost to the state through the criminal enterprise.
Na enwatire no na Dr. Dominic Ayini. Wakasa biem dia tudwa so wonam na wotete. Say amanfo kresre no, say Attorney General Benie, and anka wo Attorney General de asem no, uti ho popoya, enye policy for NI before, enye before wakoko gina court. Na otwitwa ade o my Ghana. Na wo de ye no friend central for nhia Attorney General Benie, and wo se hwe Ghana for bi antimi nkyere madwuma. Senia me ya me ho betom ye na me ye. Na wa osusu say, en central for nhia mu abra no me frɛ no me to mra no, wo betimi akokot.
The detractors of oral, that is those who do not want or are not enamored of the oral agenda, would usually say that this is persecution, a persecution of the suspects in the media or prosecution of the suspects in the media. Now, the United States of America is one of the world's oldest democracy, okay? And U.S. prosecutors, district attorneys, or even the Attorney General of the United States of America, when they conclude investigations, they brief the press on their findings. Sometimes they file the charges and come out of the courtroom to brief the press on the charges that have been filed. There is nothing absolutely wrong with this.
Oko America krampo mo ye ne sa enti na meye no emfumso bi ani ho na ne kwakra mu no na Dr. Dominic Ayini wo say that tudwa say wabra National Service for ebeto monte so say nipa bi ni samadi ahye wakatwa ngoma so egi sika didi no Ghana 40 say penyere kwankyerefo no wada atana na no Owura Mustafa Yusuf Ghana 40 ni din Kwame Asare wo bin A+ Ghana 40 ni din na ene central fo nhia mu wo frɛ ye no say Ghana 4 ante wondin e wona ma ne bomu a na enkyere say won ho so sa abrobe na ebom saafo yi de omo so mpenifo gu so omo nsɛm no ye mu hwehwɛ mu soronko.
In relation to the member of parliament who was in the center of the investigation, there are two members of parliament who were investigated in this scandal. One was a former chief executive officer, that is the Honorable Mustafa Yusuf. And so in his case, we basically had the evidence, relating to action that he had taken as the executive officer, and then we interrogated him. In the case of the famous A+, the investigation is still ongoing, and there are talks with him with respect to the role that he will play, either in respect of providing evidence against those who try to do what is alleged to have been done, or if at the end of the day no agreement is reached, then maybe he will have to stand trial.
Aban mera nimfo penini Dr. Dominic Agoretenga Ayini ena nensentrefo nhyiamu ofire yase no odi sa ensemu yi etudwa Philippa Tanga ene boabo amaniboya no edi ebesomo ye
ye to akase ebo nso ye de ni kyeremu ansam foforo aso MPP mra so bedwani ya wogina hode ma de hia wo wo afutu abato mpesua so mfifi mantam wasanso eye dom kuma ba no de ne yewram Alexander Kwame na penyo marken wo kase ne de wode tudwa so my Ghana dum so no anu e de na so ne nyinem wo to nsa de afra wo so afo ya wo hwe eja hoode wonsam so my Ghana mus wo mepiem wo my Ghana mra so bedwafiem na ECG adwuma ekuo ne de ye buka se ye jejai ye timi buka pa na ECG wamo da fam condemn to grebu ka chocho ropa wamo abo wo krom ha nya de da fam enu nti na wode atodwa ya wo sesem wo soafo ya wo hweja hode wonsam so wo my Ghana mu yewra John Abugina pombe piem wo my Ghana mra so bedwafie na afem won kire nhyehyɛ ma pa policy nhyehyɛ ya wode egu akwan so ma ECG wo ye n'adwuma se akwa bia so enya de obetimi aboka wode sansam wo nyina todwa bra no wone sentrofo di nkomom ene wo se wo ka ne sense wo my Ghana de senka adwumakuo kese pa mumunu ntum ate se ECG na mutimi yi adwuma pa na afi mo sese a mo se mo aboka de ne wo ma no ye ko ya na se ye baye enti ho behia se minister na nkasa beto nanum tuom a kire se ECG adwumakuo no wani ade a mede egu akwan so nti se wo mo yi adwuma nya ade akwan bia so wo mbeboka.
About 30% or even less of Ghanaians, households and industry pay for the power we consume. Yet, we often play politics with the issue. When the burden is on central government, then we reduce it to partisan politics. I think that the time has come for us to support the position taken by the minister. And the only place to give an update is this house. After all, he came to make this announcement before us that he's going to pursue certain measures to help deal with those who are not paying power for electricity, and that would mean tariffs should go up.
Ani ayekoti dom kuma ba ne dani wo my Ghana mro shebedefie yewra Alexander Kwame na penyo marken na woto aso no se eja hoode wonsam de Ghana ha eni kwanse kwa bia so ye de ya amanyosam na mom yensi gina se ECG adwumekuo ne ba no eja hoode a se ne hyehyɛ ya ye de besom Ghana fo.
The energy crisis, if it starts, it will bite all of us. And in fact, if we don't deal with it now, it would affect the economy in general. So I believe that the minister must be encouraged to walk the talk. All of us should get on board so that the situation doesn't get out of hand to necessitate another levy being introduced.
MPP mra sebedwani ya wogina hode ma de hye wo afutu abato mpesua so fifi mantam wasanso ye dom kuma ba no dani wo my Ghana mra sebedwafie Alexander Kwame na penyo ma kenensam no sansam we William Gentu Emmanuel Akoli
aya Ghana fo nyina ni masem senda num ho ena apomode adwumaifo aya Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association wo ye se woni aban akonkonyasie bi na aban ye se wo ma ne breka kra obehwe na watua ede amomo na watwa aban anya ade akapre mpo a tokuro damu no aban tua ede amomo na abona okani bre enu ntini pam no twam no nyina nsem achewo enkosi se ne wo hwe ne mu de firi aban che no aban behwe na wayo ede amomo de onkoba no odiba wade ene be ye breka kra ne Ghana fo mu ato na na mo nse do bedema enam so manura Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association ekoi woni abejoko hwe apomode ho nsem so mra se bedwafie die hye se adwen na adwento ato na chire no ana abejoko yi penyina wode wona no se titinani Dr. Mark Nawani wode to Ghana fo nim se adwento ato no de ekoyi enti Ghana fo ntamu chuku no ogidie se endi chebi Ghana fo beti bibipa ya nto anka nkosoro anso ade tie nei ena chese apomode dwumafo da betu dwa se atuate no odi abaweye enam so ma Dr. Mark Nawani abejoko hwe apomode ho nsem so ewo mra se bedwafie wode wona no se titinani edi asede ne kabia ma abejoko yi se ensem wo mudi tudwa anampo meet omkokọ yeye no se ne omugi tumuo se bibipa bibefiri mu aba no omahwa ye ne sa na atuate no omudi abaweye.
I think this morning, just like my leader said, they have announced that they are back to work. But that is not the end. Members of Parliament, we need to continue to fight to ensure that some of their requests, the executive arm of government will listen to them. There should be a point of intersection. There should be a point of agreement. And so we have fixed another meeting on the 26th of June. But they are back to work. And I want to thank all of you here. I want to thank Almighty God for making this thing possible. Thank you.
Abejoko hwe apomode ho nsem so ewo mrase bedwafie won Dr. Mark Nawani wonumunyamfo ne ena etwagu yina ne kasa akire no ɔfɔn sɛ yɛ biem rase bedwani oromanyanfo kɔdwo ɔpɔn kroma so kasa bi apomde adwumayɛfo yi wɔdo mu nyina ase na wɔsɛ gyina so de to Ghana fo anim sɛ bibibi sɛ esi daakye a Ghana fo ya yɛnto yɛbo ɛmɛ yɛntoto ya no nsimu ntutu asɛm ne srɛ ne basa ebia na aban pogu nkonyasie so sɛ yɛn Ghana fo ne yɛnto yɛbo ama wɔ ne yɛwɔ na sɛ de ɔma anhwɛ anka na yɛn nso tisim na yɛte sɛ yɛtutu asɛm ne srɛ ne basa anhwɛ na asɛm no kora no yakɔsɛ no.
Mr. Speaker, as we make progress, we should also learn lessons. Maybe other colleagues will mention of the health committee. The chairman has shown good leadership, and the ranking member, Honorable Ayuwa, shown very good leadership on this matter in helping to adopt a bipartisan position and to call both sides to consider the issues in a slightly different light. Mr. Speaker, as we make progress, we should also learn lessons. Maybe other colleagues will mention other lessons. One of the lessons I want to mention is the fact that when dealing in particular with the union, especially for those of us in authority, we should be very circumspect. If you pay attention to some of the things that angered the nurses and midwives along the line, it included, among other things, attacks on them by persons who are perceived as political assigns of one party or the other. It included, among other things, suggestions to the effect that, well, if you don't do it, we'll find somebody else to do it. At least that's how some of them interpreted it. Mr. Speaker, it tells us that in times like this, we need to be very circumspect.
Oromanyanfo kɔdwo ɔpɔn nkroma ɔfɔn sɛ yɛrebim rase bedwani ɛna rase bedwafie ɔde ensɛmu yi etu dwa Emmanuel Akoli ɛne William Gentu ɛna amanebo wɔde bɛsom yɛn na sansem kuro ya ho prem to breka se ebumu maame biama kwafo wani penya be de kyerɛ wɔkasa ɛde ma Ghana registered nurses and midwives association ne kwetwetwe nkɔmɔ na wura Philemon Japan ne kasa emu no ɔde kyɛw papa ɛma Ghana fo sɛ adeɛ no yeyi no wankasa otiri ho yeyi bɔne na adeɛ no kokɔba no na wamfe wɔ se ankyerɛ aban hu ne se wani abre ɛno nti ne ma no kokɔba asa no wonim sɛ atuate okɔ yeyi Ghana fo dodo na ne ha wɔ mo Ghana fo dodo na so no abusuafo nam so wato na won se do na so nyina mu no akyɛw pa ɛne wɔ mu
ansa na me de sansem no betu dwa no ma me mfa kwanya iso na me mpa Ghana fo kyɛw ebi no mahwere omunuanom ebi mahwere omo adofo yesrom nese fo nye basabasafo yensem kana na etiawa na yesrese ade a edi wen ade a ya negotiate awie na ya sign no aban tu hwanamo no onfa niema ngu kwem na yemfa mai we da ankosi yenti na ma ye de niema gu fom parliamentary select committee on health no omo ameyati asese de ka no ne kwan so a edi woye na emom no budgetary constraint nya de ombetimi etu hwanamo aye ni nyina amaye
na enu atire no enu owura Philemon Japan wo send atu dwa say atuate a watwa sense nyina no ye Ghana fo nti na wo hwese ne Ghana fo suo na Ghana fo bobena na Ghana ni kwaresabia onya pomde dwuma ni hwe no na aya na omusu no moti enu ti Ghana fo kane ene wo hwe wo mu a atuate odi abawie na to so mienu aban no aban na ka cho mo se wo ma mo na wotwe mienu pe ti na wotwe mienu no kwa wieye na wo nti aban ka ene e bi atuate yi ebesa abaso
ye ne mo si ginae esipo bi nyame ya adoma na wotwe mienu edi yanimi ebesa ne omo akosia na dedi kan no Ghana fo sufre ene ade porting nti aye twe sa strike atofum. The second one honorable for sa parliamentary select committee a chopa ene kasade omunya ene kasa kire ohwe majority leader honorable na onya kra obebu nkotodwe na yesere ne se onubu kotodwe yebeda fom fi se nye bo apaye bi na ne yeye na ohawa edahwa yenhwen kan yinti na me yedu pemeso ayewe
penya be de akira wakasa edema Ghana registered nurses and midwives association eku no owura Philemon Japan ne na etwagu ye wodi sansem no to dwa wo prem to breka se boso wabra na woni ma mebia makwafo etwetwe nkomo
ye to akase ebu so aye de ni chem wansem foforo so na dom kuma ye obutu o my Ghana mra hye bedwafiem en wo ka kire wo so afo ye o hye my Ghana pomode wonsem so ye wura kwabna minti Akan do se MPP abante so no wo share project bi enfe pass a project no ye fra no agenda 111 project na isi ase MPP abante so biom ti project no wo mu hu se aba no so wo to so so wio na mu we de eye chew pa no wode ne pa no wode kom e de ama NDC aba se sa project ne nkuto de NDC aban enwie emfa mo na sa project ya ye kan ho asem sei wo de wani kire mu e wo minority MPs na ka che anasem wo ma ba tompesua so ene bebre na sisi honom enye bete sisi honom na wo mu boa chese wo manfo tete wo mu bre party tium ene se bia dom kuma no wo ye wo bia wote na ba tompesua so se ya wo ya de a chise wo chia ansasabium wo pomode won sam won se timi akam na no na MPC dia todwa wo chese ha adwene wo se edu bre bi kura no wo bitimi kaso ya refe wa kwa se wo gusu a wo kwa behwe no ye timi keja na nipa no wati nananom ewo ansie dom emra so bedwane ya wo gina hode ma de hia wo apa de nchira west abato empesua so Rudolph amuako jampo akasa wo chem so no de wo se edu bre bi kura no wo hwe ne manfo nanim se ne bi tete na ya refe na o manfo ne ko no wo mu su na afo wo nsa dem awrade hu ye mobom nipa no wonu babia awo ana wo kwan so wo se ha adwene nti we de wo sre pass agenda 111 project ya MPP aban na sha se nyare wo se NDC aban munwie ne ntem na wo manfo no so apomode papa 1 cm
aban bi ehye dwumadi bi ase a na okọ oni ho ne saban foforo ba edi se foforo na waba no oto sa project no so so hwedi aso a the entire district ni nyina Upper Denchira West enhye da ni government hospital bia ewo ho na ade a eya ewo mu ne se wo hwe Denchira West fo ti odi aso mpotam amobaka modaso amenase ade nkronia sa area ho nyina brofiedu man obia eyare a jise nipa no okọ either chief compound or small clinics here wo ibi duro ne edin a transfer omo do kodun kwa onofe anase baby ani na se wo hwe ekwan so a efi Denchira West ede ko dunkwa onofe a ekwan ne nye
na de no kura de wo kyerɛkyerɛm sɛ kwanfo tantan ya kwan anam so a na wo sa lamhye gidigidi pa nya asɛm kuma nipa no bedu no a gontu so no watwe no kon wafa ne bag ha adwene mra so bedwani ya wogina hode ma de hia wo Upper Denchira West abato empesius Rudolph amuako jampo na sansem we William Gentu Emmanuel Akoli na eboa no ye pem so e de ani achem na no kwada na beto dwase mofra na sinkonwa ya BC nsohwe no wo mo twro mantam dunsia e wo man Ghana muna apɔtwe ne de ye gusu aye chibi so obi wo hodema baba se ne sre eso wa by tene wo kwa na what is matter no matter is anything that has weight and can occupy space no watro no de abia ho formula bi wo hodema no watro no de egu ne sre so na tadiem mema ne se obi wo hodema de t-shirt ne boso na watro nti aya ne se wo hwe as wo twro as wo re ne pen ano ni nyina no wo dua ponti ya chibi invigilators yi se ye gusu aye chibi nam so ema wo my Ghana mra bedwafo kasasra bad time awofo ahwefo akyerɛkyerɛfo se nkwada no BC sorry na wo mo twro ni se wonim se bi wo hɔ ma bad time ne bi ɛse wo ma no kutu pa se we no hwɛ na wo nkae a wo de twro ni kitua bi wo kra bad time bia na ɛgye pɛ na watwro de ama ne ba wo se ɛyɛ bahyɛbɔne ɛnya de papa mofra wo mo da akyi no wo ma hyɛ asiesie na wo kɔ na afi marset no wa hyɛ da se yenim nyese ya bi da research kwade hyɛ da marset no wo ma fa de bi da de no mo de atwro formulas no mo de egusum mrase bedwani ya wogina hode ma de hia wo working tampo north abaton pesias Joseph Kwame Kuma no wa kyerɛkyerɛm so we de wɔsrɛ abata na da kyerɛkyerɛfo ahwɛfo sɛ nkwada na exams na wo mo twon apɔtwe de entimi amua wo de sansem we gina to dwa na dwem ɛwɔ my Ghana mrase bedwafie wo kyerɛ sɛ wo de tin kwansem emu odu ɛna wo de kwama candidate no
Of schools, invigilators, parents, and candidates must refrain from such malpractices to ensure that the sanctity of examinations are protected. Let this examination be a celebration of hard work, not a plot on academic integrity. Mr. Speaker, to our students, please trust in your preparation. You have worked hard for this. Do not jeopardize your future by attempting to cheat. To school heads and invigilators, you have a duty to uphold fairness and discipline throughout the examination period. WAEC and the Ghana Education Service must intensify supervision, sensitization, and enforcement of sanctions where necessary to safeguard the credibility of this critical academic milestone, which they are doing anyway.
Emrose bedwani ya wogina hode ma de sha okentampo north abaton pesia so yewra Joseph Kwame Kumane nsem anonom empanifo se mekro manka bi yemfa nkasema no team Emrose bedwani ya wogina hode ma de sha oketu north abaton pesia so eye edem agbana ne dia wode to dwane sesia no ya na ye twro nso hwe bi atise ya enkwada ne bi hwe mekura se samra boy hwe be bi tise tumu ahu enkrotu awodro bi a chese ukọ nkro no so pa di enkwada no ICT computer wo hu bi da ni adro ni de board so ni atro this is a mouse say it this is a mouse ni aye bibi bua ni de ato ni de amam saafo no ni adesuafo a wo cantonment laboni ena etena se atro nso hwem wo se sa bridge no ye hwese ye beka mo a no mo nyina akotwere nkoba ne se mefi mekura na se mi hu bi da na afem aye foforo ede amame.
The results that we'll be getting from this year's BEC should be a metric to guide the government in terms of educational investment. Let us see how best we can invest in education in the rural areas so that children in rural Ghana will have the same opportunities as children in other parts of the country. Mr. Speaker, I wish all the 603,000 students or candidates the very best in the exams, and I believe that this House will help in ensuring that after the results are released, the transition to senior high school will be smooth so that the challenges that they are usually confronted with the computerized selection system will be eradicated so that our junior brothers and sisters, our children who are proceeding to senior high school will have a smooth transition and will be able to benefit from investments that this country is making into education.
Emrase bedwani ya wogina hode ma de sha oketu north abato empesias yewra edem agbana sansem William Gentu Emmanuel Akole.
Empenfo wondin apie monten so aye kyerem se won kondo se bire biduru na NPP amonyuko bi ona pon de to hono mo a obepe so bekwakofa krata na wotu franka ede ama wosona busuaku NPP na mpenifo bia wondi apie monten so aya betifim rase bedwani Dr. Brian Achampon na opanyini ye na wode krata apie monten so akrata yi ekọ ede ama na busua eye NPP amonyuko opanyini kyerem se obesere NPP amonyuko ni mpenifo se wonhwe na wonkyekye amonyuko eye akono se na be na 2028 okọ abatu mu a Ghana fo betima hwe wona akono a ayo no so na wotumi ato oba ede ama NPP amonyuko o se ye ne eja ewo NPP amonyuko ni ono na eka ko social media so na kohwe NPP amonyuko ba NPP franka da ne profile so otimi twro nsem de fa NPP panyini ba ko ho nyina ne sei wonta na chinti o so ogina so no wasere NPP amonyuko ni mpenifo se ne yekoso no wonhwe na wonfa wo nansi form se ne be na enkabo mu a wo su frɛ ewo NPP amonyuko ni betumi aba na wakina bi no so mokɔ abatu oni mu a o matimi aprinkunimdie ede ama amonyuko no wo sei wo sere mpenifo se efiri NPP amonyuko ni maso ne wo form grassroots ekokosi ni wo soro chama so no mpenifo hwe hu ni se mentemo si bi ekoso ontem no obehwe no watima yi afiri hodom no wakina bi no se ye de Ghana abedwa kase NPP nsa enkunimdie ni nkanko a Ghana fo hwe animu no o man Ghana obetimi apre na Ghana so ensa atumi aka wo se asimesi na yesrimni asimesi na oya asantini asimesi na wogina pen wantimi anwene entime ye ntoma ne nkontoma asimesi wo so nyina no ede mpapa mu ba ento no de wo sere se NPP mpenifo hwe na adwebrew enyiniti ewa monyukonum na bere bi so se ekwa kopɛ franka tunia nipa bia mpenifo de tumi be hye ne nsase wo no ene wontu franka afama monyuko no omunyina hu no mo so mo ya busua ba ko dede ba kokoba krobofo ma na o mo mfa chita panta na chise ne be na nkunumdi wo hwe animu sa monyuko no wonsa ebetumi aka Dr. Brian Achampon ena krata yi wode apie monte so ekọ ede ama na busuaku NPP.
Now na Ghana man His Excellency John Dramani Mahamadi to just say we July bosmi ni de dikensi honom da ponda kese de Ghana ye ko bompa na afia da nyankopɔ twedi ampom basa ya dom no ase na no nam so e man penifo kuku dam ne nti wo my Ghana mu achese dwumedie no ne kwa so ano no penifo so koto se wa fefo guso a woje asra wantene kokromoti anyi bia ne ye ka se kokromoti ewuntine kane second lady wo my Ghana mu ye ma me Matilda Emisata wa kyerɛkyerɛm se pa dwumedie ndie wo fo so papa say ye bompa ya se nyankopon se yeda na se empempen so oni o my Ghana ba bedru na afi so wo my Ghana ya sumdwe nkabom kese wode tutu ama ahodo bi atwa my Ghana ho ahia eye not and capital not asumdwe de entimi ntwiniti a eze nyankopon de woni Ghana de ne ye pa ma me Matilda Emisata wode sansem wagina to dwabra abedwoku ni pakosra no wo kire sesi ade we officially ene ye beto nsa de afro se dwumedie na eda ponda e de ma Ghana waye pani wo kromanti ye se brand so say ya wode wani onyam ebeta dwumadie na se na wo kire se ne kwan so ano wo mayade papa nyese bia wo mu gina radio so na mum so mo atimi anante aka wo mu chaw so aba be sra ne de wo se yade bia edimu na se fata wo so wo ranka so wo se dwumadie no nya amanyosem eye bra Ghana fo ye ba betena se na afa ya dwendwene nyame kase ye ho enhyira kase ya nyankopɔn twadi ampon basa ya dom wa ye ediama ama Ghana wo se no mpo no anya hwekra na anu ada December bosome ne da toso enso fie mpinu na afa aduonu nan Ghana fo ye kosie ne koto abahwe ne fa abato eto ye emfa ho NDC ekua donko MPP ye to mane ye fe ye wie ya ye dane amemom transition eno so se ne da so pass Patricia nsa ho no eda ho fefefe nya woyo waya wantehwe Ghana de nyame ehire papa wase wo hyebo se bre ne so a wono na ebusuafo adofo nyina e basa ne be ya dwumadie ne betimi ayekra behwe.
Indeed, it's a very good idea to have a day of prayer, especially not just as a Christian country, but also to acknowledge the hand of God in everything that we do and to acknowledge His supremacy. And we've just come back from an election that clearly has shown that God was in it and God is with us. And it will be really foolish on our part if we do not go back to Him with our thanksgiving. So it is in order and I fully support it. And I'll come with my family, I'll come with my friends. So make sure that you reserve seats for us. So I'll give you the number of people I'm coming with. It's a joyous occasion. And I'm so glad that it's non-partisan because I think that in times like that, we should forget everything because it's all about Ghana.
Ania yokote kane second lady wa my Ghana Mrs. Matilda Misatha. Na dwemtenani edema bejuko ne yura Elvis free ankra kasa ne watch say abane wo botai kase edema Ghana fontina dwumedie no asempo does reflect reset renew na wo my Ghana yentimin die ya brabo mu.
We are here as members of the National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving Committee set up by His Excellency the President. Our President believes that Ghana has a unique history within the sub-region, within Africa, and within the Community of Nations. This is a country that gained independence, first country south of the Sahara, inspired other countries to also strive for their independence. After that, we've had several transitions. We're in the Fourth Republic. The Fourth Republic has survived so far, and all indications show that it's going to survive. We've chosen a theme: reflect, reset, and renew for national prosperity.
Ania yokotie wano eye dwemtenani de mada ponda kese ye si wan ma ye bompa ya da nyame ase Elvis free ankra sansam way Abdullahi Dasmani enebuano
wonam kwan ho a aya na wota ho nkofo bi se omoye fulani fo se omoye nijefo ene ye nheda nim ene wote ka mu a obo ha na wabegine na kan ho obo hwehwe mu a wohwe no a na wode ne nse ekona no saa ma ne bibi nkodi na wo na wobesero no wonfa ho se wadidi o se ondidi yo ne awopa ne se wope na wo no wanya ne ho abotre na koye ne chema ne obeka kire wo no ahwe odu ti bebo dam na enya kwa honko a wo ne nam dwadi bia hodo nso so a eya na omo so no obehu se nkola ma ya bi saa na omo so ne nam ho eja Ghana fo ne yehu buroni da obehwe na buroni ba kete wabone ti kama wona ma no obeso wo nsa na ono so sirisika na akoso wo my Ghana mu ache ama mpenifa ka ho asem wa se enam kwampa so se Ghana ye gi awoho sa na ye ka de a ene safo ne ba ye hwe ye mpadwuma pa bi mu omo nye na ye ngya se ne nam kwa ho ne gu o my Ghana ni mu ase enam so mafori so busum ye twa mu ye hu se Ghana Immigration Service fa bo mo homodin ene safo ya koso adodo na ede free kwa ho eje won kwan so nkonko piem ewo mu kuro mu biem na ene afisem so afo odomnyanfo Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak woni nsantwafo kasai na wo kirem se busum atwa mu se na Ghana fo hunu ye no saa pepepe na nya de e beso ho no mo a empinifo bekoso na brano no woni nam kwa ho ofi o ma mu abepiem o ma Ghana mu na wanfa kwa pa so woni tumi krata so wo ye adwuma o ma Ghana mu no saafo ni nyene ya hwe ni atete o mo ye di o mo kwan se na ben na Ghana kwa ho ni dwadi bia hodo e betumi ada ho sanse kono bododo e koso yi dodo na nso e ya mononefo na wo bosumi yetwa mu nipa be 2000 ye chiri ene ye che omo asafo ni yetimi eja omo kwan odomnyanfo Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak de sanse na tudwa wa bra Ghana de hye bia wonche ye Ghana Immigration Service fo afo omo na wo gu ntete so na wa wie ne ye amambre ne amane ye de eja omo kwan wasimfusu ene odomnyanfo kopie mu ase de sanse mu etudwa ne kwakura mu no wasabo nyina no ho ba se akande ye be obehia na atumi abona Immigration for dwuma de etima fa ne ntoma padi fira no Ghana mampanyi wura John Dramani Mahama beboa am wonsa atumi aka.
As they pass out and join the distinguished ranks of our security services, I want to emphasize that the critical role the Ghana Immigration Service plays in ensuring border security and stability of our nation. You are expected to be the gatekeepers of our nation, and your work will have direct impact on our national security. Let me remind the recruits that as they pass out today to join the Ghana Immigration Service, I will urge them to be beacon of discipline and responsibility. They are not just personnel of the service, but also ambassadors of our nation working at the borders, and their conduct, both on and off duty, must reflect the Ghana Immigration Service and our country at large.
And what you know, and Urminam Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak was a Kasa, Edia 219, they won't tell ye. Na wosu ade na immigration adwuma no odo ho ba be hye mu nyina say wo ba no wonhwe hu ni say odi anidi obuo ene nsiyo ebe ye adwuma wonhwe hu ni say Ghana ya hye so no bambo mapa ebe fa no ntuma padie fra nya say okwa kogina ahye so kwabra ne ba no mateku a waje wa manawura mo asempo waje wa manawura mo kina bi no say agi wo mu a menu miru nyina ne ho beka enti wonhwe hu ni say adwuma di ade ahye o mo nsayi o be firi makoma mu na o ma ye no sane ye na efata.
I must indicate that I'm impressed by the comportment and discipline displayed by the recruits today on parade. And let me also add, I was elsewhere to pass out a group of our services, and by the time it got to my turn to speak, more than 10 of the recruits have been pulled out already. But I'm happy to say, commend the trainers. Since I started until I came to speak, I haven't seen so many of the recruits being pulled out, and that's a serious commendation for the trainers.
Nekwakra muno eno Urumanyafo Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak was aka said to just say or her parade a wana ne wontia ye wo pass out no ene o mo saya o na efepa wo so munyina de o mo lai mu kama o ma fo mo ho kama obia hye no ho so we di adanse se wo pie mo anteso na dwuma no o betumi ayo amana ye kama.
Last month the service arrested over 2,000 undocumented migrants who have entered the country through our borders. As a very young, energetic personnel, you will be at the forefront of addressing these challenges, and I will encourage you to remain vigilant. The rapidly changing world requires service and a workforce dynamic enough to meet the changing demand, especially in the area of migration and border security. The government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is committed to providing the necessary logistical support to ensure that you continue to receive specialized weapon training to tackle the border security challenges.
Urumanyafo Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak afisem so afo and what is ensemu yi etuja odum prince Lenford and kwa FM asemfosu na manebo enie.
Busia president Edema Geba Sisa Sunkwa Mills na wade atudwa watches Geba for nim se radio stations ediosia na ye ba betum twetwei na wamanfo beka no ma hye no so enu awia mu kwa nwumre ho da betodwa ese National Communication Authority mpeni for ba amane a watches se radio stations best ediosia na dia yatuma dani a wamse hihya edimu sefata wo mantimi enisunti ya tumu church bam anche enwumrem wa ena Ghana ma Prince Excellency John Dramani Mahama ena me Rafael Kwacho Fusu ensa so de betu dwa wo kire se bosom be se ma ba kontam de wo nhwe na eja wo mfanya nhyehyɛ ye beboa mo wo se wutua wo se nhyehyɛ bi sefata watimi aye so fefefe enti yenya wo mo no mo nya mo adwuma na no ena enewie kase bopono so ma me bia makwafo ene Sunkwa Mills di nkomo no se wono mpo de wante ho asem kire se anuma bia kra mo hu kra ngu na sum na mum wa kan se radio station se pa ye tum se ehase somewhere wase February mu enam boko wo hyewa na atwe ni tinti na we pa ye ka de wo kan san so esisu biom se Gebafo nyade a na wo mu enim wase na anu se woni wo soafo ye a wo hwe nkita hode hu sam so wo my God mu ye ra Sam George na wo mu di nkomo na so anu se no na ye asam foforo nye radio station be se ediosia na ye tum ni ntia.
But as them we started February, so Mumbekaya, your two stations, basic to a binom de Naya, Saboko Assembly, to Maki, to other stations, almost almost near was somewhere. But in Shia Minister, now, that time no country, all is no my stations, no almost. That time they are above 60, close to 70. Yes, and run, the name say, idea net, but now you need to run on Beshasi. But first one, no buy, give back 4 year babu and 10 years secular. Idea. But any difference 64 now you two I feel your categorization nature say obiania why
Yara Mills Amanesi, one man was with the radio stations in Pennyford was Ramon Shama National Communication Authority in Pennyford, the Guaquas, woman Shom Fanya Juma, send your bear down Kwama, the young coach will be aso.
From 2023, I get show I want to scandal. Nothing, yes, already now, radio stations, no competition will move. I am a human. So I had my stations to be. It is a open human. It was a weird number. Be a into yet the clemens not yet. In fact, when the buyer no now adding Kaka because let me say a member back who be normal friends a call. But Mudian on air, I think it was still a net a call. Into a free na air come a crochet a bear no now clemens and the buyer. Into 30 days no more.
Any equity president had a Magiba Corner Sister Sunkwa Mills in TC a radio stations no. Bosomba pardon. Womunye Jumanemo Michano so woman so ya consent for Froso.
And Ryan Cabin social media so. Any yan in tie, say Cratchy one in Penaqua Jomonica cra. Na etua ekuta Cratchino, send and Pinfocas as a can wear a job of friends semino. Etoi agye wonsam ama ne mpena wo ba wo ne nam wo no etoi akasa wura yi ama tese wo fam ato nanom e wonse do na ye tietie mu ano na ye te ne say clutch no ko no social media handles ahodo aye ne etoi ono ankasa ne dia enti wo te ne kan bi onam bia ne etoi ne kan ho ene ewura nso ko ne handles so a ohuni say ene ne mpena tuo enti o si fom a na agya o ma yi fun yi no mu twa mfonyini na etoi kuta no na odi yi nkeche o de kosro de ba fom sa tuo kro yai ena akasa wura yi na waso kwaje wonani ewo ye jimpotemu ho ewo pro eastmense ni mu obu no eastmantemu na obi nim na kwate bayira huma mu no mote ya ne dimakum etu akasa enti omutie mu no mu hu ne sa ene akrache ne mpena yi ena chese etuo na de bia no chese omode je omo hu sa kireme na wo social media so no akasa wura yi na ade chie ne yenya ne ntese post phone sa bo mo homoden nipa miensa ya so mo pechi ewura yi ne mpena etuo ne dia Hayford Boateng 31 years ya che no ne yonko Kojo Emmanuel 28 years ono so ya che no ofoforo nso a Michael Kabute 34 years nipa miensa yi na post phone so won pechi na Lincoln Lynches yamane bofo ye bekwa ne nchen na amanebo yi wabu emu nchire mu ye Lincoln wo teme nka sumdwe fie peace ni o ye mo wajo emu akwa ba
bejo sumi abem
na boye nchire mu post for fa mema miensa yi o makasa
mini abema said modern kan e dia to dwan sa pepe said na no bnada and am rante kwami say ene ababa we be piem e wo ye ji ha no say wa abra no mu free yi na e kwaso man pon me kira man pon yi ase na obu bedru ye ji ha no say no kura ye free futu de ke ya eno e don ketwa ya e she ye ji ase no e bi so na obu kuko ye na ho ena etuo no kasa ye said wa bu kiremu ni na pepe na ebra aposifo nta eso gumu no omo eje omo nu asem na se omo di omo complain se ye etie na pepe enrata ena aposifo ema eye ni poba sei so ade omo ekopie mu e wo de supporter eno e wo ye jihad mu ti na omo koduru ye no eye ko jam training ade eye ko adu a etrese omo adiewu omo kum nipa ade ebo wo omo na emrantie no ajitu mu se awudie sa bisa ewo hono ya sade court no e kan ta pepepe na etie enu akire eno mo ye se asem no afi no mo fi ehwehwemu ase enu sade mo fi ehwehwemu ase ne omo mpre omo ho enkonkodi asem ne tintin bia eje ne kasa bebrebia enu tu omo sankwai no mo sankwachi aposifo kukumo na ehwehwemu iguso e kwafo sanse omo de ababawa ne kopie mu ewo Matthias Carey mock no ewo ye jihad no that is anya nko no ho enkonko fe mu se ampa eye tuo na ekasa ababawa na no na akuno ana se enkono okura da ansa na tuo no e ba bekan we nyina eye nsama ekofo koto on ene ena ye twipini eye police commander eno ewo ye jihad ena police peni a wona commander na no eye DSP Eric Edem wade to nsam twrefo ani mu se sade ya ate no apepepe ena etie na mrantie no ewo omu etemu sese ye omu buso a omu eye nhwehwemu omu ye nhwehwemu enti nhwehwemu no ye bekwa akotie bia ni bebi a bekwa akodu bia no omu beto aso na omu de afọ amanebo e de afọ manfo ti omu pa bia emfansi etimamu ponti e kasa de mrantie ba asa no omu da so oboti posem ewo ye jihad mu bia omu kan so omu de bai eye Honda CR7 car no so I ran a beto just here so mama car no so at the accordance and set a car no at so away Jan.
Lincoln and Ra, Yanyan in Tessa Ray Bushian Fosu. Sir Adiano, Yabisian Yesi, Comunia Munua, and Como a crano. Now, Posy for say, and concern you move a query, and Nadia Muno Mujim, and I'll bet you Bushian Swing.
Many are tap a penalty, or much you must say, a wounded dear, or much and farm, I would say, said the police commander, a catcherman, or children say, a bet me proud, I say, a Sam can. And you should wound a young concourse, or give me a chain at Castano, and I'm a woman there who's a two Canadian. To just a doctor, to say, a chain at Castano, and I'm in the wood, 30 months or an uncle so. But people suppose if they are winning, declare the actual cause of the death, which means that you will not partner or father. The other told you say, their man also a booty for HM and yet much no eka. Nado Ababa one bedem were had, meaning more than Pahokano, Muchia, meaning our airport, when in Temwa, and Sana almost down for actually with this man.
Lincoln answer a major Mwakono, Cheremu. Yadia were children a yetitie. Big crumple children say a bride to you can say Urano, Urano fatty from Freddy Mameka so. BBC Nancy baby or dining into him piebo, and Sunday from Frost after my menaka and Samame or Banani or Jim. Would you what it be? A beans one number anti Crumpacasa, a saying an adiano, a seaporting. Yes, I know in Tiacompo say as a car near the initial boot, a BC Tonica said in it to boy and Chilemu Monam Wohono, sign us some moteno, edify.
You really are saying assembly at here. A man no free. Mampon eba bedru jihad no okire mu say eye kobi no eye here for na ono na ne kanchema ne ababa ya bebi ewe free mu no ono ba be ye national service ewo jihad the guy your friend of the care pro ketu adu ho no ono ko ye na and it o mu tiri ko am de ba ye nyina so o mu ba be fresh when him say the and if you have them there and them ja end up to hand to mo ba be fresh you be na no and our no children with say we are na police to the corner also and no majuma kwa no ya no o mo ni o president no o mo ko honom no mo ko to ni bi o honom na ho and o mbenya no de o nti o mo ko ye no o ko ko du enipa o mo ko to ye no so e wo honom no ya brand no lobster ono no nim na ade ni nyina esi ya ya kwa ne chani bi kodi nko mo o tire mu say Amo ba bedru ye no futu e kan iskura se mo be kan akoso mo dam village ne e ba ye no isi adu se me kire ye gi e kan ye pa sa kuro de e so kata ye nsuo fa ni na e de ya me de o kata de ya no mo won ka de nsuo ni fa ye obi e di mo di e ni ti no na je ti kire mo ko no mo ni se kuro ni da so ho e ke mo twa mo ko ho no mo go ama ko kuro na sa no mo sanya ba de bia amanfo ne tenanka e ti amangu die bia se e no mo ti a no busu e di nkomo na abrante ye for di ko wura de ka di ku di di e ma lucky star ya training di e hu na already no edin ka tro ko say ade aso mo nya no mo ko no tu o mo ni ye ji pan se pa no se hu tu o mo ba no aboa na e no da ma de ko ku di tu e di tu o di e wura mu mu no e no yi amugba woni boto o di se mi ti a na o no lucky star ne se e ti oni ni pa en na e ni ti no o to ni mu no twe na ni FAC baby a obia emie na ode abụba na ehye etuo no na oni ana mienu na aka ka no wa ye na afofo sekani fi ho everything wo no lucky star no sa ka kira baba wa na oka omo ho ne se onso ni tiri bebi o etuo mu etum aka ya baba wa na etie ana so twen ne ho ekojina nchen edikobi etimi lo abụba na utuo no ewie ya no na o pia tuo de ne sa pempe ka tuo ne sa enti omu nyina ni ama omu bi omu ti ya ne se etuo no e kasa ya na asem omu ti ya ne se ono ya bebi ne se kobi wakumi ana lucky nso kobi DH nso ka se ya bebi ene mawu manya ase pelu ti etuo no eto etuo ja tuo ho na tu na omu aka na omu jale free one ega ti ba ya se etuo aka baba wa ne dia ene omu nfa no enko hospital ono omu fa no ade eto ka ni munti omu de ne ba ya no da eye back seat passengers ọmụ na ọmụ echiri no ɛna so ɛwɔ hɔnom ɛna na no ɔda na ɔmụ ɛba ɛna ɔno no taa na adeɛ no si wɔ n'anim no ɔfrɛ yɛ agyi apolisifoɔ ne ɔmanfoɔ no bi ɛka kyerɛ ɔmo sɛ wɔn abanifo sɛm bi sɛ ɛna akɔ so ɛwɔ ti dɛka wɔn ti mmeranteɛ no ɛnkeka wɔn ho sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ afoɔ no ɔmo ntumi ma nkɔfa baabi eti bere a ɔmo ɛba na ɔmo pie kurom na mmeranteɛ no nso ɛtɛ ahyia sɛ ɔmo ɛbɛkye ɔmo yɛ yɛ a ɔmo de mmirika tɛntɛ ATC main road yi a efiri agyi ɛbɛ kuma asɛmɛkyerɛ asɛmu kwantempɔn so na no ɛna ɔmo bɛyɛ a ɛwɔ kwan so na ɔmo atu area no ansa na ɔmo dan ɔmo adi saa bɛrɛ no deɛ na nkɔmɔ asan hospital no ho koraa yɛ nkɔmɔ kyɛm afɔ eti yɛbɛsɛ sɛ nkɔmɔ nya kwan saa bɛrɛ no a ɔmo ba ɔmo de ni etwa mu na nka de bi ɔmo ele fɔ no ɔmo ankasa esi mu asɛm ɛna ko ɔmo nim eti ɔmo mu no sɛ bɛyɛ no afro na ansa na ɔmo ba dan ɔmo ho a ɔmo de ɔmo ani ɛkyerɛ hospital hɔ no ansa na ɔmo kɔ yie nti ɛhɔ ɛna ɔmo kyerɛ mu sɛ apa ayɛ nyame dea nti hɔ no ma pɛpɛpɛ na polisifoɔ nso ba yɛ ɛbɛsu ɔmo mu ɛno nti mmeranteɛ no baako a ɔwɔ mu koraa yɛ sɛ ɔkɔ akɔtɔ nsuo ankɔɔde fa ho twa no ɛno ɛna ɛkɔ baa sɛ mmeranteɛ no hu titiri mu pɔtɔ pɛ so ogya no ɔmo kwakyee no ɛna ɛdɛ ɔmo de ɔmo nsa na ɔmo de ne kɔma polisifoɔ no.
Lincoln mo nu ama ne bɔkɔ so ne fo wani di ama ne bɔ yakyi polisifoɔ ɛma mo nkyerɛmu biaa ɛma yɛ so nsi ɛwɔ ho.
Yeah, wa ha do mo teji be ya ɛnfo kamie.
Lincoln lectures ɛde ama ne bɔ efire dwura ɛyɛgyi ɛwɔ pre eastmancy ne mu obu ne eastmantam mu ɛna wɔde bɛsom yɛn yɛfa konya wei so ya baby yɛ fɛ ne ya baby me
ya baby efie de Philip ha na yɛ de frɛ no ne ma message July mu nyame yɛ adomo no benya 21
wow
21 years
yɛ ma busu nyina yakɔ yɛ mo yakɔ pa
ɔmo nhyɛden
What be some plumber? A DM pipe no de boy adwuma Kind of say DPS pipe nko na onfa mo adwuma bribia o. Esan gidia menya wo DPS pipe munti. Ne mfani agrokra o. Enti frɛ 0543 662 727. Pomachina kwan was Spintex Road, Coca-Cola chiriwa. DPS pipe. Gidia ashenso die. DPS pipe. Pipe nyina hene.
Happy delightful June. Swachilala, chichi soso. Afrana pa. Epe breakfast and was in woman. You happy delightful juice against with toast, cereal, and even them cool. And bread and fifi. Mosha fridge man. Happy delightful juice. One of one. And you be here. Happy to relax anyway. When you're let's say what the chamado. Happy delightful juice. Of an berry I bring you all day long. One fruit juice. No happy delight. One different flavor. Different size. You number 1 liter. Number from 150 and 250 ml.
A healthy life shows on your supermarket.
Happy delightful juice, loaded with taste.
Tune it in, turn it up,
Peace FM,
and rip off the knob.
Amo nyina akwa babiom edibai kasebo pono so kasebo na si. Medi ohene wo kasebo ahene mene.
Sadat Muhammad. Kasebo mu aseda enkonfama Osons chemist. Osons chemist ene de Osons garlic capsules abadwa so. Eye pa mu apomuden. Ofire dia na wapebi. Garlic no fa so wo so. Na ya na doctor for cancer. Garlic no kwa ya na entanye se de be keka jasa. Na so yenti menwe ne sa enti aduane ye ya na chese ye twibi. Ye da keka ye na mo ho ne de aye nkwane ade ade ya na kobasa no e man effectiveness no e kofom. Enti wunya garlic capsules no bi na no no mo a ebebo ma garlic so mfa so nyina no won saka empty and the enemy na wianti enso kan ne amfa hwene ni manajo what's we there for you everywhere you go. High Sense Ghana electrical appliances papa nyina wo Ghana no ma himfi o majusu no a any High Sense set refrigerator now chest freezer air conditioner television gas cooker electric cooker washing machine smartphone sound system rice cooker blender now do we actually mu e High Sense Ghana for akache na nema no so de atete so papa amanfo ke kan so mo na o matete o mo de so me say High Sense de gie hudi ento de okosa nkofo de showroom no a buso mo TV na open ne bo na o de memma ye frɛ o phone so ye gie hudi nti ye bebo ye bo ne de ache o fato to ho na be hu ni so obi so watene de so a na eye High Sense Ghana ne papa so na ye ton e de amawo na bowura showroom bi e be wo mu kɔ hwe wani so ade wo hwe ade nso no na wo to ade obetima frɛ 0302 550 000 0302 550 000. High sense, everyday prices for everyday people. Duffy Roofing System, so we see a dine ton, one concrete you may need. And ampo, wait to 2 more room, then what's here, your name, Macassa Bosso, and what dinner, sir, a cash be. Breve Mount Chance in Subina, every Mount Chance in be. Now the cobble down, so be the promote Jessica, now the man pin for pay in a day now pay. Sansi, Duffy Roofing System, and Society General Crabana Nato Kese, Eddie Abama, Adiama Ghana for Yamawa Fe Ecosim Finchamiansa, Chelsea Cracker, branch, and Yama Ukrana, that board down so that. And I just say and she say a pa for Nichimu Ewo is Legon. Trinity Theological Seminary, Chihuahua Mopena Behuye, Yebe Allied Force Station, or Obetimiafre, 0543 661 716, 0543 661 716, and I say 0243 232 818, 0243 232 818, Nambi Chatwo, 0308 040 096, 0308 040 096. Duffy Roofing System, where you think roofing. Think Duffel. Budget Cash and Carry Limited at the Blue Gens Energy Drink Abajaso. Bayan Finchel Junior Chilini and a Blue Gens Energy Drink as some Ghana Sumpa. Na Blue Gens Energy Drink ye papa pamu apumudin. Wa ye juma wa hodina ko form up social mukena and Konum Energy Drink be a sansa yanumu dianidie a cafe nukwa. One more behena or hope put the cheddar one bida na make you one dance here. Konum Blue Gens na Hubuni say a down so cry if you go for any dinumu. Where dear a papa na nema papa ye dear yan one no na some for vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12. Ubenya some faso. Tori ni gurana ye di Blue Gens Energy Drink. Ningi na ubenya some faso. Ye papa mu apumudin. Bema nume ye. Obanso nume ye. No do mo anu afre budget cash and carry limited. 0208 128 190. 0208 128 190. And I say 0550 010 000 0550 010 000. Raoul's Pharmaceuticals what the High Lady Virgin Feminine Wash eba ya answer from no. Raoul's Kroya kwa High Lady Virgin Mesha abajaso. O yo ba yo hwadru. O yo ban kwa de sisi ho. O yo ban kwa dia na wahwe hu ni say. Oba wo yo no ebedimu. Na ebedimu so dia na High Lady Virgin Mesha. And I make for the amawo. Oba ko fichira fiji adu muntimi kwa adwuma untimi nsere untimi ndi agro kope High Lady Virgin Mesha na nom ebenye fichi komu ha nyina firi ho ama nso ko fichira sebi ababoko edi amawo oba ko fichira hweso maye neba adiche na twa eneba adiche na twa meka for High Lady Virgin Mesha edi amawo oba ya na himfi ho no keka kakra ya na nso bi tagu enye nika is infection ni keka ho onya High Lady Virgin Mesha na no mo a ebeisa wo ha nyina etimi afiri ho no mo na mekrampo mene wo a na nka me no High Lady Virgin Mesha no na the High Lady Virgin Feminine Wash and so ACC himfi ho no mo na be hu ni so be obesima wankasa obaji hu adi eni wu nsi nso mansa na waham obehu se nema ko yie papa edi amawo Raoul's Pharmaceuticals dwene ma ho enti we de emadro tatahwe High Lady Virgin Feminine Wash and High Lady Virgin Mesha and odebadwa so ntimi nua bai ofire dia pe High Lady Virgin Mesha ne bi na nom pe High Lady Virgin Feminine Wash ne bi so na yisu na be hu ni se beboa wo enwane bi a ye die nsa bi ni nso be no no nyina chemicals nko a enti yare ne die ene ye fa form and you offer hayare enti wo ho no mu a na wabo ho ban High Lady Virgin Mesha and High Lady Virgin Feminine Wash me nuaba and Americanfo edi amawo de dudu mu a na de oni akire mu yarefa Raoul's obekọ na chese yarefa Health City Raoul's for ho no mu papa wo ton de ama Ghana for betima frame pen for 0558 567 150 0558 567 150 and answer 0558 567 169 0558 567 169. Pepsodent is obetima kasuma semwa adisi otwetwe osinye obetima kasuma semwa adisi opa osinye so obetima kasuma semwa woni ma hu ni die ma ne fa ne ntoma pamfamfira won se odidi a ade beti wan twetwe ose no na ma wosi akinam no na asa hono enke afro no mu ba no ayana no odin wonka se odi adanse se wo sena ho odin no mpo no ayade akofom papa ni nyina ne se aduro bi a odi twetwe so no emwa wo bi so na twetwe osi anopa ne anwumre eno so no aduro no ena nye wo so won twetwe osi anopa wo so twetwe osi anwumre ye ne wanum enya asem ketoa agoto bibire ni ade wo be hia power zone mese pepep student ni ade ne fa twetwe osi ye agoto bibire ni ade hyehyɛ wo si dodo mu ni wo si mu nyina afiri hɔ mu wanum ahu ni die no afa ne ntoma pa die fira papa bia na wine ni cigarette ni ade no ama wo se kra kala ne sesa wonya Pepsodent cha ko ne titiriu na de twu se bebo ma wo se ye fita wo se so ahodi be wo bedidi awe na mabonkase mu a enya da wo se na esu ebebubu Pepsodent se wo dwene wo hunti na duro no asoto no de badwa so heba cheko cavity fighter and triple protection nyina no ohudonti bowura store bi ebe wo mu kwa Pepsodent ndura hodo no pebia to wo nsa be ka be dedo Pepsodent gidi se siriye bia no ehu ehia enkane na nkesi sambod wo kwa ho na ye de free customers wo henry spices sa ade no atwam waduane ye de waduane kase a eno na wo se free customers ehu ehia so be si sambod wo kwa ho na de nkwanhia ba na wonya ho amane enti no menua ba se choba na ye se restaurant na ye aduane a wo ye wo fie no wo use spices nko ade o henry spices and American food ama wo we no nya ya no mu de ni bi chemicals ne ade ya kasa spices anyakopon de adom ye bibifo and wo henry mpenifo yi wadane de ne kama ya ne powder and wo siesie no eto ogu edwa so obi ansa betumi aka bie enti so obe use spices wo fie obe use spices wo adwuma mu a wo henry spices and American food ama wo emfa ho ne aduane a wo ye sabu mu senkwan jollof chicken beef spaghetti anampo fish dish bia na wo ye dia wo henry spices na American food ama wo na wo hwe na asorto say chicken seasoning stew seasoning jollof seasoning fried rice seasoning goat seasoning shrimp seasoning anampo beef seasoning noodles seasoning nyina no okwa ufredia won sabeti meka before ko ye aduane na obehu ni se wo ye tonko ade be twetwe dom ade ama noodles fo no indomie fo ne ade no wonya ohenere noodles seasoning ni bi na ode ya ebemo se ebe freka customers pa ade ama wa esanse ebe ye de we su yare bi ani akire esanse spices ya natural one ya eda mpenfo ada ne de ani no dodo mu a na wodi wani akire mu ewodwa so ba bi ton spices bia no wonsa ebetumi akabi frempenfo 0207 805 398 0207 805 398 and I say 0244 525 908 0244 525 908 Wahinere spices dewu ta police spicy beef and chicken jerky and can na opa kokona mare and can open ntwe na mare agise mayanka anampuko store and the store na ebe wo mu no kwa also open ntwe na mato anampo opa kokona mato ebe ma obi dodo na ya na wachirim say open spicy beef no and I say ta police chicken no na obe hu ni say won sabetimi akabi empenifa hwa che ne kama ya spices so ede and then ya wrap in fine and ye ton stores ahoduo mu bowura supermarket num bowura store na ebe wo mu no kwa also open ta police beef and ta police chicken jerky ni bi na won so de akoche ko how far eye abedin to ayefro nyina no de soma hoho no mo eye kama awiabo wonya bibia obedin so ase komo nhyɛ dande wo sa feeling no aya na eya pa wonya drink ba ku bia na akɔgye ta police beef and ase chicken jerky ni bi tia no ekwa ho nyina no wie yeye sanse o ma che ne kama aye dry intenya de abewie ma won sa ho aba be ye peche bi ani o ma ye ne kama pa enti meka mfo di amawo aduana di free ba ye no untimi nkodi wa kitchen we san say enam hye de nisu nti wo fere sumane enkoto tapoli beef na na se chicken ni bimbrao na fa gusu no obi abehunu say ye guy papa no dodo mu obetima frame penifo 0504 551 265 0504 255 0504 551 265 and I say 0556 510 72 0552 651 072 0552 651 072 number chat 0553 646 201 0553 646 201 ufrem pinfo ta police spicy beef any chicken jerky ne bia wo bi ya no beboa na ne duduo mu no wonsa atumi aka we ni nyumeku eso ya sene kasebo ye nuanu mienu yesin konwa ekenkan ye ede esomwo asomdwe fie peace 104.3 and wasugu so wutie ye mamomo anitia enyado.
Tune it in, turn it up,
Peace FM,
and rip off the knob.
Medofo a menu ho agro. Na say die waduane ne da no ayɛ soronko.
Anyo mura.